Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Joanne Smith and this is In Less Than 30 with Joanne Smith. And it is May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you. As you can see behind me on my wall, I have my Star Wars wall. I am a Star Wars fan. I am Team Rogue One. I love Rogue One, but most recently, of course, The Mandalorian. I'm loving Grogu, or I still call my baby Yoda. I love that character, and that's my son, so I'm real partial. But I have 3 different prints behind me. So in my office, I do have a Star Wars wall, and we have the closest to us, we have Darth Vader. He is in a field of flowers sipping on tea. So actually, I thought I was just buying that print, but the other 2 showed up as well, so I kept them and made a wall of it. In the middle, I have the stormtroopers. They're going through, I think it's a dandelions field. I don't know, they're yellow flowers. They look like they're dandelions. I don't know, they don't look great. So that's nice. And then the far corner is, of course, Boba Fett. He is knitting, I don't know what that is, a pink pouch. This is my Star Wars wall. I hope you enjoy it. May the 4th be with you. But before we get too far into talking about Star Wars and, of course, the Met Gala, I'm gonna ask you to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. It helps me out. My goal is to get to 1,000 followers. Thank you to the 55 plus folks that joined on my birthday. I was so excited for those new subscribers, and I'm almost halfway to my goal, so thank you. Okay, does everyone have a little cocktail or mocktail? Let's get it started. So for those that don't know, the Met Gala is the most coveted, the most fashionable, the most esteemed fashion night out for celebrities and the wealthy in New York City. So there is always a theme each year, and this year the theme is gilded glamour and white tie. So this time period is from 1870 to 1890 in New York City, and it's paying homage to the rapid, growth, prosperity, industrialization. It's all about the juxtaposition of the opulence of the very wealthy and the very poor. So stay with me, and we're gonna talk about why it's called the Gilded Age and what famous author named this period the Gilded Age and why. Can I just tell you guys how hard it was for me to do this category? So I have a new category just for the Met, and it's called Good, Better, and Best. It's kind of my rating of my top 3 of the Met, and I just love it. So this is women's fashion. We'll talk about definitely the men's fashion, so stay tuned for that as well. Keep with me. But let's start with our good. So I have to say the good, the better, and the best are all 3 different looks. And I love that because I don't always like to look the same, and so hence my choices. So let's start out with our good. This is very good. So we have Gigi Hadid. She's gorgeous in Versace. I just was obsessed. First of all, the color. I love a kind of maroon red, a deeper kind of brownish red, and I just thought this beautiful puffer jacket. It was so, I call it gilded puffer excellence. It's just everything. Again, Versace was the designer. It was a modern interpretation of coats from that time period with a spin on it. So she did have her beautiful corset that definitely gave that feeling of today, right? So with the corset, I just love the yin and yang of the corset with the over exaggerated volume of that jacket. I mean, just the train alone was just so sensational, and that contrast. I was also, you guys, digging on that spandex pants. It brought in a little extra edge. I thought she looked great. She is a model, a supermodel, and of course she was working that red carpet. And again, that beautiful decadent color just brought it all together to me. And I don't personally wear puffer jackets, but I just love this look. Oh my gosh, the next two ladies, I just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth on this. And literally, it could be interchangeable, but I have to go with my original feeling. And okay, so let's talk about this. So better, okay? We had Gigi Hadid as good, and honey, she was good. So better, I have the fabulous Blake Lively. I mean, Blake Lively again in Versace. Her and her hubby. So Blake was giving an ode to the Statue of Liberty with that beautiful dress, which the Statue of Liberty was constructed in New York in 1885 during the Gilded Age, fun fact. The outside of her dress represents the monument's original copper look. The white inside is designed, while the inside is designed to reflect the green patina that now covers it. There is also a celestial map on the green train, which was inspired by the ceiling of the Grand Central Station. And as you may know, Blake, alongside with her hubby, Mr. Ryan Reynolds, served as co-chair for the event. Okay, so we have our good with Gigi Hadid. We have our better with Blake Lively. Oh my gosh, who has gotten best? There was so much fashion to look at. I mean, but it was pretty easy for me because literally it was the first dress that I saw. And because she was a co-host for Vogue online and streaming live, and my mouth dropped. I posted it to Facebook. I posted it probably to Instagram, all the things, right? I'm talking about none other than Vanessa Hudgens. My God, she just keeps killing it. Every award show, every fashion moment, she is having a great fashion freaking year. Let me just tell you, Vanessa Hudgens is in Moschino, and some were calling it racy, and I just call it freaking fabulous, y'all. I just thought she looked hot, 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 hot. You know what? And guess what? She is not in High School Musical anymore, you guys. She is a 33-year-old woman, okay? And she is showing that womanhood. I love the intricate lace design that she has, and it's showing off her really petite, curvy frame. I think she's like 5'3". So she's a petite woman, but the dress isn't wearing her. She's wearing this dress. And you know what? She's got some a banging body, and she's got some banging jewelry. She's got a chandelier earrings as well, and a chunky bracelet with lots of rings, and her manicure is to die for. I'm not even into long nails, but I like that look on her. So she was totally pulling off this gothic chic look that we all kind of aspire to, let's just be honest, and she killed it. So she is my best, honey, best. Congratulations, Vanessa. Now, you know, I'm not one to stray away from controversy because there was controversy. There was a lot of controversy actually at the Met Gala. But before we get to I would say the main controversy, let's talk about a little bit of some wardrobe issues. Okay. Let's talk about Nicki Minaj. Nicki, darling Nicki. What were you thinking? She came up to Lala on the red carpet for an interview, and I just was like, she's gonna have a nip slip. I mean, she's gonna have a nip slip on live TV. It is 100% gonna be her fault because she even said the dress was too, the bust part of it was too small. She bragged about wearing this dress. It's a Burberry dress designed by her friend. So she kept on bragging about her friend, Ricky, as she called him, who is Riccardo Tisci, who is the designer of the Burberry dress. Now, I wasn't a fan of the dress to begin with, but it was way too small, which is completely a fashion no-no. She knew it was way too small. So to me, I'm thinking you don't wear the dress, right? You don't wear the dress. You don't wear something that doesn't fit you, especially in the bodice area, and you're very well endowed like she is. So I just couldn't understand it. And then the cap, you guys, the cap. What's going on? Kylie Jenner wore a cap too, and I thought that looked ridiculous, but that was a whole nother situation. But this baseball cap, this black leather cap, won it. And she said that she begged him to wear it, and she wore it. So this is a fail. I don't have a worse dress, but she would be it if that was the thing. I also like to point out, I guess homegirl got vaccinated because last year, remember, she said that she was not going to attend the Met Gala because, and I quote, "They want you to get vaccinated for the Met. If I get vaccinated, it won't be for the Met." Okay, girl, I guess you got vaccinated. Now pull your dress up, okay? Okay, so this is the tea. This is the major controversy. So I know that you have heard by now, if not seen, that Kim Kardashian came to the Met, and boy, did she show up. She showed up. She came to the Met as basically Marilyn Monroe. So I love this look. I thought she looked great. I love a blonde Kimmy. She looked great in her bleach blonde hair. But that's not the controversy, not the hair. The controversy is the dress. She was wearing the iconic Marilyn Monroe dress designed by Jean-Louis. And when she was singing happy birthday, Mr. President. Like my voice? Okay. Yeah, so she was singing Happy Birthday, Mr. President in that iconic dress back in 1962 to none other than JFK. I mean, it's an iconic moment, iconic dress. I don't know if you guys have been watching Netflix and the new doc out on her. It seems like they come out with new stuff all the time. But yeah, she was having an affair with JFK and his brother Bobby. So anyways, that's a whole nother tea. But back to the dress. So there's people that are really upset about it. And there's people like me that are like, hey, you know what? There's gotta be some perks to being a celebrity and famous and all the things. I mean, if I ever get to that point, I mean, I wanna wear Mariah Carey's dress if I can fit in it. You know what I'm saying? So she did say that she had to lose 16 pounds in 3 weeks. I mean, is that healthy? No. But she was back in her hotel room having donuts and ice cream and eating it up because she went on this very strict diet to fit in that dress. So also I just want to say that dispels the rumor that, I don't know why when I was growing up, people used to say that Marilyn Monroe was a size 14. Which even for that time when dresses were made differently, she was nowhere near a size 14. Nothing against a size 14. Hell, I'm a size 14. But I'm just saying that she wasn't as curvy as some may want her to be. So I don't know where that came from. It's a silly rumor. Because Kim was very small and she had to lose 16 pounds. So there's that. Now her sisters, however, is another whole story. So let's look at that real quick. Yeah, no, I'm not feeling it. I thought probably Chloe looked the best, and then Kendall, and then downhill from there. There were some good backstories in the dresses, and certainly from what I understand, Kylie was giving kind of a memorial to her fashion friend Virgil and for the fashion world, and but I just wasn't feeling the whole look. I wasn't feeling definitely not Courtney with the bandage look, and again she had a whole story on her Instagram, and At the end of the day, I'm like, do you look good or do you not? Like, it's just, to me, that it's that simple. You can definitely be yourself and still look good. And I just thought they look a hot mess. Here's our history lesson. All right, so what I've been seeing online and a lot on the red carpet the other day was a lot of confusion about what the Gilded Age is and what the Regency Era is. And they're totally different, not only time periods, but also places. So let's talk about Regency Era was from 1811 to 1820, and it was in England, okay? So it began when King George III was deemed too mad to rule the United Kingdom. So his son, George IV, was appointed to act in his stead as regent or proxy ruler. So during this 9-year period, the aristocracy flourished. Now, fashionable society was known as le bouton, French for in the fashion mode. So, again, the Regency era was earlier in the 1800s, and it was in England. And the Gilded Era was in New York City in the United States, and it was in the last part of the 1800s, 1870 to 1890 to be exact. So we're talking about, again, two different geographical areas and locations, and also different time periods. So if you see someone say something about that and get it intermixed, then please correct them. And the Gilded Age, in terms of fashion, it was definitely defined, again, by extravagance. We're talking about the upper class women wearing jewel-toned gowns. They were crafted with silks and velvet and satin. This era was named by Mark Twain. So Mark Twain actually came up with this period's name, and what he meant by that. The period was glittering on the surface, but corrupt underneath. Also in this period, the difference between dresses you can kind of tell is the bustle was in. So we had the back end, which I think is kind of funny. Oh, it's interesting that we're in this period right now where we're kind of into the bustle, but not really on fabric of clothing, but injecting fat into our butts. So yeah, okay. I also want to talk about some of my unique finds and unique stories. I mean, there were so many stories about the dresses and the suits, and there were so many fun, facts and stories behind the dresses and the meaning behind the fabrication, how everything was constructed, the designers putting it together, the people they were designing for, and the stories behind them. I just love to hear that. So I'm going to share a couple, just maybe 3, that I really enjoyed hearing about and I thought were pretty unique and special. Questlove, oh my gosh. He wore an oversized matte black coat, which was practical fashion back then, with hundreds of years of history behind it. So the deceptively simple style was created in collaboration with designer Greg Lauren and the women of Gee's Bend. It's a historically Black community in Alabama. He said it best that, Black folks, we had a different experience back then. So he wanted to pay homage to, especially the Black women back then that were all about textile and art. So he said, I wanted to represent, for African Americans in this country. The Gilded periods are a little bit different for our stories. I wanted to highlight Black women who have sacrificed for this country. I just thought that was great. I almost teared up. It's beautiful. After a 20-year hiatus, Hillary Clinton is back at the Met Gala. She was stunning. Her dress was designed by her chosen designer of Joseph Altazura. He made this beautiful gown, was embroidered with names of American women who inspired her, like Harriet Tubman, Madeleine Albright, who just recently passed away, Abigail Adams, Eleanor Roosevelt and Claire Burton, among other names. I think she said 60 names. So I actually got a chance to watch behind the scenes on Vogue and how the dress was made, and the designer speaking about his inspiration, and it was just fantastic. I love the story behind that. He really wanted to make sure that, and he said that obviously I was thinking about making her look great, but I was also thinking about the story that she's going to be telling through this dress and how she would actually vocalize that when people asked her about it. I want that story to be something she felt a personal connection to, so I love that. I'll link it below. The next inspirational story I want to share with you is with Sarah Jessica Parker. She stunned. She chose designer Christopher John Rogers, and I actually have one of his dresses unbeknownst to me. He, you know how Target has like designers that come in and like do a collection. I bought a dress not knowing really who he was like 2 years ago. And so I haven't even worn it, and I'm just like waiting for the opportunity to wear this dress. Anyways, I'm so excited, but he is an inspiration. I love his big, bold, he works with a lot of different big, bold patterns and colors, and especially bright colors. But the story behind this dress is that she wanted to pay homage to Elizabeth Hobbs Keckley, who was the first Black female fashion designer to work at the White House, according to Vogue magazine. So Rogers said she was a small designer and someone that people don't really talk about. The idea was to highlight the dichotomy between the extravagant, over-the-top proportions of the time period and the disparity that has been happening in America at that time. So First Lady Mary Todd Lincoln hired Keckley, a former slave who bought back her freedom, for $1,200, according to Smithsonian Magazine. So in 1861, to be her dressmaker, personal dresser, and a confidant. At that time, the designer was building up her dressmaking business and a network of clients in Washington, D.C., Smithsonian reported. So I just think that's a great story. I'm so happy, and it made me really smile and really like Sarah Jessica Parker anymore, if I could already not like her anymore, except for the bad season. Hey men, let's talk about some men's fashion. I know the guys have been hanging with me. Thank you for hanging out with me and seeing it through. Let's talk about some men's fashion. Oh, there's always gonna be some basketball players. So we have up first, Russell Williams. Russell was in Tom Brown. And dare I say that I actually am getting accustomed to him and his fashion taste. And I like this look. Now he has a weird gesture on his face, but this look actually works. And I'm feeling the skirt. Is it a kilt? Skirt kilt. I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling it for him. Hello, handsome Yahya Abdul-Mateen. My gosh. He was also in Thomas Brown, and he said he wanted to look like a king, and honey, he pulled it off because he looked dashing. He looked like royalty and all the things, and kidding me. I'll tell you that Stormzy was a favorite of mine of the entire night. I just loved his look. He's so tall, and he looks so regal, white on white on white on that beautiful black skin, honey. I was feeling all of that. So he actually was wearing Burberry as well, and which was designed by our friend Ricky, or Ricardo Tisci. I'm giving him crap. But he looked amazing. I mean, it was a 3-piece wool suit with satin lapels and a matching white cape. I mean, he just came to like set the red carpet on fire and set it off, and I am here for it. Frederick Robinson, with 2 S's, honey. He is a lookalike for Jared Leto. Everybody thought he was Jared Leto in the press, and so did I. And I was like, wait a minute, I just saw Jared Leto, and like, how did he get changed so fast? So this is very inspired. This is an Iris Van Harpen creation. It's titled the Quantum, the Architectural Look, and it was inspired by how you express yourself and transform yourself through fashion. So indeed, that's what fashion is, and I love it. I love this very unique look. Guys, so did I tell you my boyfriend showed up? Oh yes, he did. Well, he's not my boyfriend, but could happen. Roger Jean Page was at the Met Gala, and it was his first time, and I wanted to be his date, but alas, Roger was wearing an Armani suit. It was a velvet navy suit. I mean, oh my gosh, I saw on his Instagram stories the detail to this very plush, very luxe. I mean, we're talking Gilded Age. This was very gilded. I mean, just a beautiful suit. And he talked about it being, a story about he chose Armani because Armani was an immigrant that came to America. So he loved that kind of flavor to it. All I have to say is he looked flawless, my dear, as the queen would say. He also had a Gaston Grisella brooch, and oh my goodness, that's the show. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and talking about fashion for the Met Gala. Let me know in the comments below who were your favorites. Who were the hits and misses. I know I couldn't talk about everybody, but I try to cover a lot of different bases, and so much fun. Thank you again for joining me. And before you go, you know what? You gotta hit that subscribe button if you've been watching and you haven't subscribed. And if you are a subscriber, definitely share out my page to your friends and family and ask them to subscribe so I can hit my goal. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for all your support, and I really appreciate it. I had a beautiful birthday, and this is just the beginning. You know the drill. Stay educated, stay fierce, stay honest, and most of all, stay fabulous. Okay, bye.